Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Mike Benitez. Today we'll be doing another ship video, but today we'll be talking about a class of German liners, like I did in the Imperator class video I did last week. However, this class is of a more successful class. These ships were the biggest ever to be built by Germany in their time, and they were also the fastest and most unique looking. I'll get to that in a minute. But what class will we be talking about today? Tonight, we will be talking about the Bremen Class ocean liner. Let's begin the story of this infamous class of famous ocean liners. The 1920s. The Norddeutscher Line, one of the most infamous shipping companies in Germany, was looking to find some new ships, new ship designs. They had been coming to build the biggest and fastest ships in the world. The Norddeutscher Line just had made the Imperator class. However, at this time, all three ships, except the Bismarck, which was still under construction by White Star at this time, were sold to different companies. However, this was not one of the bigger problems. For years since 1907, the RMS Mauretania, Cunard's largest and most beautiful ship at the time, except the Aquitania, had held the Blue Ribbon. The Blue Ribbon is an award that goes to any shipping company that has the fastest ocean liner. The cruise ships don't count. They had to be an ocean liner, like the Queen Mary 2 and such. But at this time, the Mauretania held the longest record, and the Germans were hoping to break that. However, they didn't even find enough ideas to make some good ships. The Norddeutscher Line's first ever attempt at making a four-funneled liner was the successful S.S. Kaiser Wilhelm der Große, which was followed by her three sisters, Crown Prince Wilhelm, Kaiser Wilhelm II, and Kronprinzessin Cecily, all built between 1898 and 1907. However, at this time, all ships and members of the class, except Kaiser Wilhelm II and Kronprinzessin Cecily, had been scrapped, and the other two sisters were deemed too old and too slow. So, the Norddeutscher Line decided to come up with an even bigger, faster ship, bigger than the biggest ships in the 1920s. This class, the Norddeutscher Line decided to come up with a new type of ship. A class of two ships. These two ships would spark an international battle to build the largest and biggest and fastest ocean liners. This new class of German liners were called the Bremen Class. The class consisted of two ships, Bremen and Europa. These would be the largest ever to be built by Germany, and these German girls would prove to be quite competitive. The first of the class, Bremen, would start construction in 1926. She would spark an everlasting international competition for bigger liners. However, Bremen wasn't any ordinary ocean liner, for several reasons. As built, Bremen showed a sleek, short, very fast, modern appearance of her time, the most unique, having short funnels and a very sleek profile. However, there was another key thing about Bremen and her younger sister Europa. She was the first commercial ship to have a bulbous bow design. However, she wasn't the first ever ship to use this design. As with her sister, Europa and Bremen would have Heinkel HE-58 Bremen Atlantic planes attached to catapults. This catapult was designed on the between the two funnels. This was built for a specific reason: to give fast mail service. A mail seaplane would carry mail from the ship itself to the mainland. This was pretty darn cool. And as in this picture, as we see one being bored onto Europa, This was very unique from their time. Sure, the Bremen and Europa were the most unique-looking ships of their time. Bremen was completed first in 1928 and began her main voyage in 1929. However, this voyage wouldn't be any other voyage. As being her first voyage, Bremen would join the holders of the Blue Ribbon. Originally, Bremen and Europa were supposed to sail together. However, this didn't go according to plan. Europa was supposed to be scheduled for service in the spring of 1929. However, on the morning of March 26, 1929, still during fit-out stages, Europa was on fire. It is unknown what actually started the fire. However, this fire would cause disastrous results. Even though Europa's appearance was slightly damaged, her turbines were severely damaged, and her main voyage was delayed for 11 months. This left Bremen on her own. However, Bremen would make history. On the 16th of July, 1929, Bremen began her maiden voyage. However, this was very successful in the case of the Germans, as Bremen arrived 4 days, 17 hours, and 42 minutes later, with a speed of 27.83 knots. She had broken the Blue Ribbon. Mauritania's chance was gone. And in 1929, the Blue Ribbon was given to a new star, Bremen, and she only got it on her main voyage. It was also on this voyage that the first ever male taken from a plane on an ocean liner left. The plane carrying over 11,000 letters and six bags, was taken to New York only hours before Bremen even arrived in New York. This would be history making. Bremen returned to Bremerhaven in 4 days and 4 days and 30 minutes. A new record for the eastbound voyages. Not only had Bremen taken the westbound Blue Ribbon, she had also taken the eastbound Blue Ribbon. The first time an ocean liner got the Blue Ribbon on her first 2 sea passages. However, this was the start of the Bremen Class liner's history. As with her first trip, Bremen's seaplane was able to carry over 16,000 letters back to Bremerhaven, Germany. 11 months after her near-disastrous fire, Europa was ready for service, and she arrived in New York in 1930. March 19th to be exact, and with this, she made history for her sister. Arriving in 4 days, 17 hours, and 6 minutes, Europa had taken the eastbound Blue Ribbon away from Bremen. She had broken her oldest sister's record. So not only were these two ships sisters, they were also competitive rivals. Bremen recaptured the ribbon that had been broken by her sister Europa. She reclaimed the title in 1933. However, she lost the Blue Ribbon yet again for good, and this time it was taken by the much larger liner, the French liner S.S. Normandy. However, the story of the Bremen Class liners doesn't end here. Due to the Nazis coming within power of Germany, Bremen and her pier in New York became a bit of controversy, and this reached its boiling point in 1935. On the 26th of July, 1935, several anti-Nazi demonstrators boarded Bremen and took off her Nazi flag that she on her jagstaff and threw it into the Hudson River. This was during a policy that all ships, and claimed by Adolf Hitler, that all German ships would be wearing the Nazi flag, the swastika. However, after this incident that would later become known as the Bremen incident, it was later changed again without the swastika. However, the mail planes on board both Bremen and Europa were taken out of service due to being too complex and expensive. However, they did make history and became quite popular with the passengers. However, the two sisters weren't identical, to be exact. On her main voyage, Europa's passengers were quite concerned about the soot pouring out of her low funnels. So, to fix this problem, her funnels were raised 15 feet, despite giving her a decreasing low profile. This change was not made to Bremen. In 1939, Bremen became the first ship of her size to cross the Panama Canal. In 1939, as of 1939, within her last voyage to New York before World War II, Bremen had completed 190 voyages. During their service, Bremen and Europa will be photographed together. When World War II was declared in 1939, instead of all German ships were ordered by the Kriegsmarine to be returned to Germany. However, the captain of Bremen at this time decided to continue the voyage on New York, disembarking her passengers, and also going back to Germany. This was uneventful. However, on a later voyage, the Bremen would have a near brush with death. After being repainted in a dazzling camouflage paint scheme, the Bremen made a dash for Bremerhaven. However, along the way, she was sighted and challenged by the British submarine HMS Salmon. However, an escorting German aircraft forced Salmon to dive while challenging Bremen. After diving, Salmon's captain decided not to fire on Bremen, as he thought she was a lethal target. Bremen had been saved, but this incident was the first of several unrestricted submarine actions in World War II and in history itself. Bremen had a near incident with death. In the case of Europa, however, the Germans didn't know what to do with her. Should they transform her into a transport ship? However, there was one very important fact that was known about Europa during World War II. She was to become an auxiliary aircraft carrier. The plan was, as for the invasion of Great Britain, the Germans, the Kriegsmarine to be exact, would convert Europa into an auxiliary aircraft carrier, the largest ever to be built and the first ever to be built by Germany. She was one of several ships to be converted in this way. German Aircraft Carrier 1, she was supposed to be called. German Aircraft Carrier 1 was supposed to be 956 feet long. This is in fact larger than Europa's feet, as 936 feet long. So it means that Europa was scheduled to be 20 feet longer as German Aircraft Carrier 1. However, sadly due to the fact that the Luftwaffe made an unsuccessful attempt, this idea was scrapped. And there was supposed to be a special type of plane used on this, the Bf-109T1. However, a German Aircraft Carrier 1 never was completed, so this was never happened. And now we don't have like a drawing or design stage of what Europa would have looked like as German Aircraft Carrier 1. But if any of you guys have ever made one yourselves about Europa as German Aircraft Carrier 1, please send me a link in the comment section and I'll take a look at it. You might get a shout out in an upcoming video. But if you have known what Europa would have looked like as German Aircraft Carrier 1. There were schedules for Bremen to become a troop ship during Operation Sea Lion. However, this did not happen, as in 1941, Bremen was set alight by a crew member. Bremen was completely gutted and destroyed by the fire. However, later investigations realized that the fire wasn't actually due to an act of war. In fact, a crew member had a personal grudge against the owners of the company and wanted revenge. And so they decided to do that in the case of burning Bremen. This was successful. The Bremen was dead. However, what happened to her afterwards is truly tragic. Starting in 1942, Bremen's remains were dismantled and for munitions. However, the story doesn't end there. In 1946, her remains were towed to a sandbar and were destroyed by explosives. This is what Bremen looked like after she had been burned by the fire. And despite being completely destroyed, her double bottom still remains at the bottom of the ocean, which you can visit in scuba diving. Only one ship remained in the class now. Europa. Despite being painted into the paint scheme for Operation Sea Lion, this never happened, and Europa was inactive for almost all of World War II. In 1945, she was claimed by the Allies as a trophy. The Americans turned her into a troop ship under the name USS Europa. She made 2 voyages, taking home many troops that were at war. After this, she was turned over to the French line to replace the Normandy, which had been destroyed by a fire. On December 8th, 1946, during a storm, after being converted to Liberty, during this conversion, Europa was renamed to Liberty. However, this did not go successfully, as on December 8, 1946, she collided and sank due to a storm with the wreck of the S.S. Paris. Paris had been destroyed by a fire in 1939, which caused her to become a wreck. And due to not being able to be salvaged at the time, this caused Europa, aka Liberty, to crash into Paris's wreck and sank. The sight was truly magnificent and also horrifying to see the biggest ship ever to be built by Germany to be sunk by the wreck of a French ship. Liberty's story doesn't end here, though. Liberty was raised and was able to start refitting again. However, this did not go according to plan, as there was yet another fire on board the ship. Then, in 1950, Europa was given another chance of life as the French liner SS Liberty, and she looks truly stunning. Through all the 1950s, Liberty will be the premier passenger liner for the French line until 1962, where she was replaced by the SS France. It's amazed me to see a ship not to have only have 2 near disasters, but she was given back a second life as Liberty. Europa is truly stunning as Liberty. However, due to the service of the SS France, which was much bigger than Liberty, the ship didn't have much time to live. 1962, she was laid up, and sadly, scrapping commenced. And by 1963, the SS Europa, and now the SS Liberty, was scrapped. The final ship of the Bremen Class of ocean liners was gone. One ship was destroyed by a member of her own crew. The other nearly sank twice and was scrapped in the 1960s after becoming a French ocean liner. This is the story of the Bremen Class ocean liners, the 2 largest and the most unique ships. I mean, come on, they're both unique. Their bulbous bow design, the fact that they had broken speed records. Europa being your Bremen speed record, Bremen breaking Europa speed record in 1933, and most importantly, They were the first German ships to ever break the blue ribbon since the RMS Mauretania in the 1907. They even had mail planes on board them. However, this was only for a few years of service. But come on, that was so unique to have planes carry mail from these two giant ships to port. It is so cool to hear the story. However, sadly, none of these ships ever survived the preservation. And they had lavish interiors, ginormous dining rooms, luxurious lounges. They even had medical baths aboard. In my opinion, this class, along with the Kaiser and Imperator class, are the most beautiful classes of ocean liners ever to be built by Germany. Sadly, none of them are around today. But hopefully, by watching this video, you'll get to see what it was like to sail on these beautiful and unique-looking ocean liners. Thank you for watching this video of the two ships of the Bremen Class ocean liners of Great Germany, the SS Bremen and her younger sister, SS Europa. Hopefully by watching this video, you'll remember these two class of ships and why they were so popular. They both won the blue ribbon. However, but one was destroyed by her own crew member, but she is still seen around today, her double bottom to be exact, while the other, the Europa, was scrapped in 1963 as the SS Liberte after nearly being destroyed in a fire in 1929 during refitting, and also being sunk by the wreck of a French ocean liner. Thank you for watching this video. I am Michael Benitez, signing out on the story of the two most beautiful ocean liners I have ever seen built by Germany, SS Bremen and SS Europa, the Bremen Class.